man is right about anything, or even one group of people are not right about everything. And I would pick and choose little bits of everything, a little bit of Buddhism, maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that, to kind of give me some basis, some kind of explanatory platform for my life, you know, and that in itself is an enjoyment.
So you must be incredibly proud and glad with your son picking philosophy to study.
Well, I'm so pleased that he's going with something that interests him. I mean, I'd feel sad if he went for something because he thought it looked like a good career, you know, in terms of, well, I can get to the top and do this. And
listen, sons usually kiss the ground under their father's feet when they're 7, but by the time they're twice as old as that, they are deeply ashamed for everything their father is and stands for. Now,
that happens at about 17.
17? I mean, you were the ultimate extravaganza on the surface of this planet.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably had a bit of a problem with that.
Has he never told you, David, please shut up for a year or so?
I'll tell you something he did do that was very funny. It was a number of years ago, and a band that he really liked, I guess he was about 11 at the time, maybe 12. A band that he liked called Pill, Johnny Rotten's band, Public Image Limited, were playing near us, and he said, you know, can we go and see that? And I said, yeah, of course, you know, we're going. So right, I'll go and get ready. So he went upstairs, and he came back downstairs, and he put that quick washout red dye in his hair, and he stood it up. And I stood it. I said, if you think that I'm going out with...
What happened? You did go, didn't you?
Of course, yeah.
I wonder what is...
So it presents some amusing, you know, kind of situations. But I mean, I think the period where one is embarrassed with one's family per se. I mean, I certainly went through it. I mean, I guess every 16, 17-year-old pretends he doesn't have any family anyway. He just magically appeared on the planet, or he sort of, you know, well, I was actually American. You know, it fictionalized some background for themselves, but that's it. You sort of pass through that, and I think he got to quite like me again by the time he was 19, something like that.
Is it true you're planning on having a new family again and moving to London?
Well, if it's God's will, yes. I mean, that would be tremendous. I think we both love that very much.
And then you go and live in London?
Well, possibly. I mean, we're sort of looking at our options at the moment.
Living in
the last few years have been, and probably will continue to be, pretty much travelogues for both of us, and especially for me, because I do intend doing a lot more live work. I am enjoying performance again, more than I've enjoyed it for years and years, and I'd just like to make the most of it while I still can, before I bring out my Zimmer. But I guess probably I'd be pretty hard to stop even then, really.
Is it?
I'd be the most incorrigible bore. I'll still be doing space songs when I'm 90.
We'll give you a hint. We'll give you a hint.
I'm sure you will.
Listen, is it true you made an Arthurian tour with your wife?
Yes, indeed. We. Where do you find all this stuff?
Is it true?
Well, yes, the particular things that you've pulled out so far, pretty on the money. When I first met her, I mean, she'd only been to London by that time. By the time I met her, in fact, she'd already retired as a model. I mean, she retired in 1989. She stopped modeling. But the only time that she'd been into London to see anything of England was on modeling assignments. So she came in for maybe 48 or 72 hours at a time. And she really had absolutely no idea what England or London or any of that was about. And I thought, and I picked, I was so judicious. I picked the first 2 weeks of, the last 2 weeks of May, and the weather was just extraordinary. It's never like that in England. I mean, it was just quite beautiful. And we took a trip to the southwest of England and went through Cornwall and Devon and all that, and Glastonbury, and all to the apocryphal sites of where Arthur lived his life and lived his times. And she was absolutely thrilled and said, is this weather and this beautiful, is it like this all the time? Yes! Just have no idea how beautiful England is. This is the England nobody talks about. And it was just fantastic. So she has a completely full sense of what it's like to live in
And
England.
you try to keep it that way.
Yes.
But listen, this is almost like sailing up the Avon.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm a romantic.
You've even taken on wallpaper designing for Laura Ashley's collection.
No,
next?
that's not quite accurate. The two names are correct. The wallpaper's correct and Laura Ashley. Would you bring that down here for a second? I don't believe this. This guy's got a piece of my wallpaper. Is this your... Did you play this? Yeah, I'll certainly sign it for you. Can I just borrow it for a second? This actually is a piece of the wallpaper that I did.
I did not know. Who is this guy? I don't know. You're very welcome.
Well, what actually happened...
What is it?
Well, let me explain it. What was happening is that I actually wanted to do an installation piece in a gallery show that I had in London, and it involved creating pilasters, which are sort of half columns that go against walls, and I wanted them to be fairly Romanesque in style, but they were covered in a really extraordinary and incongruous wallpaper. And you could take these pilasters and move them and put them on any part of the wall that you wanted, you know, sort of movable pilasters. And the one design that I did, I couldn't find anybody to print it because it's very hard to get wallpaper printed. And then Laura Ashley offered to print it for me for my installation. So it's not quite designing wallpaper for Laura Ashley. And what the wallpaper is, this particular one, that's an English painter called Lucien Freud.